everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Fasten your seatbelts for one of the great divisional rivalries in the NFL. This is the first of 2 games between these teams this year, and you know it's going to be entertaining. It's the Falcons going up against the Saints. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
From a city that's played host to 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Saints team as they enter play. It's an early test here after 2 losses to start the season, and a game they probably really need.
Obviously, no way do they want to get to 0-3. Not many teams make the playoffs with that kind of a start.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they come in at an early crossroads here, facing a tough opponent on the road where a loss would make them 0-3.
And when you start that way, doubts really start to creep into a locker room, and guys start to battle each other instead of worrying about winning games.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. And a very good offensive unit here. One of the reasons they're so good is running back Mark Ingram.
Took a little while for him to find his footing when he got into the league, but the former Heisman Trophy winner has it now and has really upped his pass receiving potential. A nice player.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Well, these sacks are really piling up. Last week, it was a half-dozen sacks. And here's one on the opening drive.
And it has the potential to be what we call a gap, a game-altering play. Because, let's face it, you just mentioned 6 sacks last week. Now, if you're an offense and you saw that on tape, you got to think to yourself, maybe I bring people in.
Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. It's taken to the 26. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the #1 overall pick of the 2008 draft, the man they call Matty Ice, quarterback Matt Ryan.
And frankly, this is the type of game that a great quarterback relishes because 0-2 on the road, everything's against him and his team. No one can expect them to win. Sometimes you band together real tight in that situation, and if he plays really well, they've got a chance to get that done.
Throwing now, Ryan on 1st down. And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Derek Rivers coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. He's going to float this one deep. That's caught inside the 20. They give him a gain of 38.
So let's go ahead and add to the difficulties of guys trying to cover receivers. They got to deal with speed, shiftiness, all that stuff. But how about when they have height and length and deep downfield? You throw the ball up in the air. That's how they uncover at the end of a route, by being able to go up over the top and make a big catch.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. And on 2nd and 10 now. Beckham will go in motion right. The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. He will push his way down to about the 14. He only got a couple on that one, so not a ton of help. They'll have a 3rd and 8 forthcoming. And the defense searches for one more stop here after the run on 2nd down. They go play action with Ryan. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Now, this is a crew, they've come out flat their last 2 games, both losses, but just judging by the energy level, they look different here early, and that touchdown shows how.
Yeah, it seems to me that touchdown gets them off the treadmill. Because, you know, you've been on the treadmill. I've seen you work out. You go forever and ever, and it tells you you've gone somewhere, but you really have. You're in the same spot. They've exchanged it for an escalator. Still got some hills to climb, but they can get there.
These are good analogies. I run outside sometimes, though. You know, get some fresh air, a little sun on your face.
A little wind in there.
Yeah, that's right. Here's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how the defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Benjamin with it over the middle. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll be out of bounds up near midfield at the 49. A good pickup there of 20 yards. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff.
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
All right, here we go.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. And he'll get across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
On 2nd down, Ingram. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play caller, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy is disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a second guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
Here we go now.
They'll set up to throw. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Tech McKinley able to drop it for a loss of 12, and it'll be 4th down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Falcons will get it 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. Look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Here's Ryan. He's got his tight end over the middle, O.J. Howard. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Play action. It's Ryan. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. The numbers for Freeman a week ago. There isn't a coach alive who wouldn't like those numbers. Well over 100 yards and a touchdown, too.
Partner, I think all the coaches who are in that great coaching box in the sky would take those numbers.
So dead or alive?
Either way, they would take that out of production.
Freeman again. And he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And incomplete. Almost intercepted. The D lineman almost had it. Couldn't hang on. So possession 1 ended in 6. Possession 2 likely going to end in a punt.
Yeah, that's okay. They just got to get back to what they worked on in the opening drive and continue to make a few adjustments along the way. It won't be exact because the defense will make a few adjustments themselves. Just get back to your game plan.
He finds Beckham complete. And he'll be out of bounds, able to take it down to the 40. 15 yards on the pickup there. And the Falcons are going to get a 1st.
They accepted the risk, and it was rewarded. What a catch on 4th down to create a 1st down situation.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. They go play action now. Ryan got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A very solid gain of 27. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe...
And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Devontae Freeman, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Now the try here for the point after. And it's good to make it 14-0. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Two seconds to go, first quarter. The drive starts here with a carry by Ingram. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Saints football. Again, they'll run with Ingram. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
And while there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Takk McKinley in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Fielded at the 20. Flexing his muscle at the 30. And he'll be out of bounds up near midfield at the 49. A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And the Falcons are set up well to begin their drive as it'll begin in enemy territory already. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Hoping now to get back in the end zone on this 4th possession. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Hasn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Coleman now. And some room to maneuver. And he is hit pretty hard from the side as he's knocked down right around the 31. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another 1st down with that run.
Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
This will be caught inside the 10. A good pickup there, a 22. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Again, it'll be Freeman. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness. Think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
And he is going to be knocked flat on his back. Oh, a big hit at the 7-yard line.
Now I wouldn't be surprised if they go for it. 3 points is not ideal. It's not what they want, but it's still only the first half. Take the 3 points and move on.
So with 4th down looming, Dan Quinn sends out his field goal unit from the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And his kick is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So the drive takes him inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this off. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. So far, they've had 3 drives, 3 punts. Not good.
Not good indeed, because you've got to have something to show for being out on the field. Now, sometimes, if you have a game where neither side has scored, 3 punts isn't a bad thing. But when you're trying to set the pace, get up on top in a game, you've got to show better offense and find a way to put some points on the board. Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Two minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. When halftime rolls around in just a bit, we'll send you to Orlando. You will hear the dulcet tones of Mr. Larry Ridley with our EA Sports halftime report.
Does dulcet mean good?
Yeah, it's just something that broadcasters say. It's got to be good, right?
It's got to be
you
good.
Tell me.
Well, it's got to be good if Larry's doing it.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. This is brought in at the 21. Sidesteps him at the 35. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got it.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Kenny Vaccaro. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Here we go now. 3, 19.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
He'll look to throw. He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Second down here after the incomplete pass.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Looking to throw. And this is caught. Jeremy Maclin. And it's a fumble. And on 3rd and inches, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 5 to this point. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll look to throw here. And this is going to be incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
So now on 4th down, Sean Payton's going to turn it over to the field goal unit. This is an easy one, 23-yarder. And the 10-year vet knocks it through the goalpost. And they're on the board at least here. It's now 17-3. So a field goal here. They're still down, but they put a dent into that lead before the break.
And that's got to feel good because now they've seen that they can put some more points on the board, and that gives them a whole second half to get back to where they want to be, and that's in the lead.
Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. He's got the lead here in the second quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, does that interception, even though you're playing well, your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, like I said, he's looked pretty good to this point. They go play action here on first down. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is taken in at the 5. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. In the red zone this time. From the gun, it's Ryan. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Now the try here for the extra point. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Begin the drive. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. So we have reached halftime now with the visiting Falcons out on top. As we send you on over to Orlando, where we'll check in with Larry Ridley. He's got our EA Sports halftime report. Larry?
Okay, Brandon, thanks, and welcome everyone to our EA Sports halftime report. Let's get to the highlights. The Saints haven't played their best football and trail because of it. The Falcons have looked good on the road and will just try to keep the ball rolling in the second half. All right, let's do this. Here's the first half highlights. Early in quarter one, the deep ball is on target here, and he'll be tackled at the 16-yard line. Later on the drive, Ryan's going to find his mark, and 14 yards later, he's going in for the score as they take a 7-0 lead. Moving to late in the first quarter, Ryan's on target here, and he ends up at the 19-yard line before he stopped on the play. Later on the drive, Freeman's going to cruise off the right side, and he'll take it in for the touch. That puts them on top by 14. First and 10, Ryan's deep pass will pay off here, and he'll make it all the way down to the 4-yard line before being tackled. Sticking with the same drive, Ryan's got the completion here, and that's a house call. Falcons lead ballooning to 21. So that'll do it from here in Orlando. For the second half kickoff, let's get back to New Orleans and Brandon Gott.
So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On second down, Freeman. And he's got room. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49. That burst good for 20 and a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. The play clock's running down. Here's Coleman. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
All right, partner, despite my eating habits, I'm not big enough to play offensive tackle, nor am I quick enough. But with the defensive ends nowadays and their speed, those guys have to be able to punch and dance, and it's a tough, tough job to contain them.
Off the play fake. Here's Ryan. Trying to lay one up deep. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the other. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. And he'll be down deep into New Orleans territory. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
Play clock winding down. This is Coleman. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let them down a little bit.
Yeah, allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff them for a loss. They snap it at 1. Now Ryan. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Sheldon Rankins able to drop him for a loss of 2, and that'll bring up 4th down.
3rd and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open, left him nowhere to go with the football, had to absorb the sack.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. So 3 points is the outcome, but probably not what they're looking for given the drive that they were on.
Yeah, things were looking good. You had it 1st and goal, but then the offense sputters a bit, and they're forced to settle for a field goal.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the 2nd half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the 2nd?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the 2nd half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Now let's go. Green, 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be stopped dead in his tracks right near the 27. Only a yard on the pickup. And now they've got a 3rd down and 8. Not the start to the drive they were hoping for. That run doesn't get them much at all.
No, not at all. And that leaves them with 3rd and long, which means you've got to dial up something pretty good. Think your best player with a play that he likes to run best.
Now let's go.
Now back to throw. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. So here we go, 1st and 10 now. They'll run it now out of the gun. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop it behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
for Mark Ingram. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Call it no gain there, and it brings forth a 3rd and long. Well, that was better than the first go-around when he lost yardage, but still nothing there, and that sets up a 3rd and long. Tough spot here.
Put it mildly. Sometimes I wonder if some of that old-school football should come back into play. You know what I would think here? Quick kick. Try and change field position. Help out your team.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. You know how we get focused at end of the half and end of the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't even have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. Running right, this is Freeman. Wasn't a ton of space, but a great move. He's able to work it to the 20-yard line. Second down following the run. Coleman. And he'll be out of bounds all the way down at the 5-yard line. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. A great play there. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Falcons continue to pour it on. Extra point forthcoming.
And we know they won't get their names in the stat sheet, but the offensive line has to get all the credit for that touchdown run. Tremendous job of blocking, paving the way for the 6 points.
5 plays there on that drive. And it's finished off with a 5-yard touchdown run. Here's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now here live in New Orleans. Let's see what the offense comes with here. 2nd and 8.
Let's go! Blue landing!
Back to throw here. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You tackle him almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he's got it over the middle, Fleener. And they pick up the 1st down there with a gain of 4. And they're on 3rd and short. They just tried to spread the field. It worked.
And I think that the spreading of the field, the extra receivers, has really become the next in the evolutionary chain in the NFL. Go all the way back in that situation, you're handed to the fullback, right? As we evolve, maybe you pitched it to your tailback. Now you spread the field.
He's got the lane, and there he goes. Touchdown, New Orleans. Kobe Flainer, his second touchdown on the season. And the Saints make some inroads here to that deficit. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call. But he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
This is T.J. Logan to return it. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And not a whole lot doing there, so he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. A gain of 3, second down.
But Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, this is by Thema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. They'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
The Falcons on third down. 2 for 5 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Time running out here on the play clock. And a first carry here for John Crockett. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. They run with Logan, and after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
They run again with Logan. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves them with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. Fourth quarter, you've got the lead. You have to stay in bounds and run that clock. Coaches, that'll drive them crazy.
Sacrifice a yard or two if you have to. Just go down, in bounds, keep that clock going. It's almost like he was caring more about his fantasy stats than it was about winning the game. That has to drive a coach crazy.
Here's Ryan. And finding Pruitt. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. 17 yards is the pickup there for number 17. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people pointed out to me, it's a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. Now they try the right side here. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
The play clock's running down. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And a short gain down to about the 33. Give him 2 on that run, and they're still left looking at a 3rd and about 9 to go.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Play clock winding down. Now it's Ryan. And he fires one, but incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. They'll try and throw for it with Ryan. And he's going to be out of bounds down inside the 20. They'll get 16 yards there. And it'll give the Falcons a first down. Felt compelled to go for it there on fourth down, trailing in the fourth quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a fourth down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You start to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
And he'll be taken down after a short gain as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Now a handoff here to his running back. Looking for a seam but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. And a couple of big boys up front defensively, and in that 4-3, those D tackles so vital.
Extremely vital. I love how you describe that, because if they control things up front, often it's over the guard. Sometimes they slide and make it over the center. It's really hard to get a play started then, because a lot of teams want to start inside out running the football. But against a good 4-3, you may not find any space. And on that play, there was 0 space, no gain.
This is where, fourth quarter, you got the lead, you give it to the big guy. Defensively kind of sucks the will out of them, doesn't it? Because they don't want to tackle him right now this late in the game.
Well, you say that with accusatory tones. I mean, but you're exactly right. I know it's not something we actually want to talk about, but as a defender, 4 quarters worth of trying to bring people down, 4 quarters worth of pounding, and now late in the game, here comes that big guy coming at you, and a lot of guys are wondering where they want to come up and make that tackle at this stage of the game.
And this one is right through. And that will extend their lead even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the fourth.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Falcons say they have it. They do.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing is ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. They will run again with Coleman. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who.